Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We got a great viewer question in, and that was the fact that she feels like this narcissist whom she has been wedded with for over 25 years, that she feels like this individual does not really know her. And she has not been really given credit for all that she's contributed to her family. And she really is feeling at a loss. She's feeling as if her relationship has been a waste, and she's feeling that it's so much later in her life that she doesn't really know where to pick up and begin. And so I want to address this topic and really zoom in and focus in on the concept of how well does a narcissist know or relate to other people? How well do they know you? How well do they get along? How well do they validate you? How well are they interested in you? How do they open that up? How do they show that they care? And what's very interesting, I think, is that, she was really for much of her life focused in on showing the narcissist, who was more of a covert narcissist, lacking in communication, lacking in a lot of affection, sort of that outward show of love, if you will, that's part of a relationship, is that, she felt she spent her whole life in raising the children and taking care of him, basically, that she was always trying to prove her love for him. And so I really want to focus in on this topic, that this oftentimes is very serving of the narcissist's needs. And so oftentimes there's this triangulation, this splitting in family systems when there is a covert narcissist in the family and the people aren't able to identify that there's any dysfunction going on, because they see the covert narcissist and quote unquote how far he is in his life. Basically, and what he's done so far has gotten him so far. So a lot of people tend to make excuses for the covert narcissist. They'll say, things, well, he doesn't seem to be hurting. He doesn't seem to mind. He's made it this far in life, and very well, he may have made it this far in life, using these sort of withdrawal tactics, lack of communication, not trying very hard in the relationship, not trying very hard in the family, not making a real contribution other than financial. And that goes without saying, that's a huge contribution to be able to support a family. So there's a lot of credibility there with this, with these individuals or with this individual, but yet oftentimes, money is not the end all be all. There's a lot more of value that keeps the family together than just money. I mean, yes, you need the roof over the head, the food on the table, the clothes on the back, the light bill needs to get paid, but yet, there's more of an emotional currency that needs to take place to create the value in the family. There needs to be a value in the people, and value is oftentimes not just by spending money, but by telling them things, by showing them affection, by giving them validation. But for the narcissist, this is a feign of weakness. So the narcissist, particularly the covert narcissist, does not want to show or acknowledge a lot of emotions. They don't want to share a lot of communication along these lines. They might interpret emotions as a weakness. Basically, you should just, get up and do it. No questions asked, no discussion, no, philosophy behind it. They're very apt to throw their hands in the air and not really confront things or really sort of validate things, at their right moment. In other words, they won't really stand their ground or profess a lot of their values. They're not comfortable doing that. They would rather leave that to somebody else. Oftentimes, that's going to be their counterpoint in the family, who takes on all this responsibility and this quote unquote burden, but yet. This wife, this viewer had commented to me, that she's getting divorced now, and she feels so very alone, and as if no one really knows her or wants to get to know her. And the rest of the family is now kind of aligned, like a vendetta, with this father figure. So you can see where this would be an allegiance to the father, because, well, for one, the father maybe brought home the money, kept the roof over the head. It was these unspoken things, these contributions. And not to say that her contributions were overlooked or invalidated, but this individual has basically tried to assign her as, the crazy one for needing this, needing that. She's too needy. And, if you are, needing attention, or you're needing someone to help you with your doctor's appointments or cooking or cleaning, or, we want to go on a trip. I mean, it takes two to tango here. And so it's very poignant that she feels like completely acknowledged, as if, there's two strangers in the house. And I think this is very important, especially for our younger viewers who are dealing with, because we do have a lot of viewers in their 20s, 30s as well, who are going through this, and to realize how important it is that your partner know you and give you time and attention, and you feel like you are valued in this way and validated, and that it's not just a one-directional relationship where you're falling in love with someone who you admire, adore, and cherish. It has to be two ways. And don't ever settle for just a one-way relationship. It's going to prove to be very hurtful, and you deserve to have someone who is interested in you and is secure in themselves to ask how you're doing, to be there when you're sick, to be able to handle things if things fall apart at the seams financially or health-wise, that they're able to be there for you. These are all very important activities, and oftentimes people don't see that when they're in their relationships. It's just more of a lust-based relationship. And so I would encourage you to realize that it's, this lack of validation, this negative validation, this feeling like you're not really, this person never knew you, they're not a real storehouse for knowledge or reflecting knowledge about you. So oftentimes they don't have a lot of verbalization. They might know you, they might love you, but they don't really show it. The covert narcissist, because they lack empathy, you might have basically done so much. Sorry about that. Done so much for them in their life, but yet again, it's that vulnerability, it's that weakness to reflect back to you. So be very, very careful that, you're not overly sensitive at this stage in the game. If you find that you're so sensitive to it, say, okay, what's most important for me now is for me to know myself and validate myself and value myself. Even though this is quote unquote selfish, the big S word, this is your goal and this is your challenge right now in your life. Basically, to learn to be alone, to be independent, to honor and love your freedom and your independence, and really understand it in that way, instead of understanding it in a very negative way, like nobody loves me, nobody's giving me the love. Realize that, that allegiance to the narcissist is going to be because they're falling in the shadow of who they're perceiving as the leader. And it does, give it time, give it time, give it time. But remember, like we've said in our previous videos, that oftentimes the narcissist will basically have an entourage. They will have a posse of people. They will lay their claim to these people, because they would rather not be on the confrontation end. It's just too difficult for them. They don't have the security within themselves to address that. So it's easier just to enable and allow the hurt to continue to one person rather than them feeling the hurt. So it's really an unfortunate situation, and I feel for you. But what I would encourage you to do is say that, this individual had, I was there for them in the prime of our lives. I was there for some of the most important times of our lives, and they gave me so much. And I'm looking with positivity on all that they gave and provided me in that time, and I will always cherish that. And furthermore, that's such an important part of my life. It's gotten to me where I am at now, and I'm embracing my freedom and the opportunity to make a lot of choices for myself, to decide where I'm going to go, to decide how I'm going to live, to decide how I'm going to decorate, to decide how I'm going to eat, how I'm going to relate to my family. how I'm going to, have one-on-one attention so that my family still knows who I am, and I'm not feeling scapegoated, insulted, or criticized for who I am and my independence. And as I remain strong and steadfast in those values, my family with time will begin to be able to turn around. And the covert narcissist, unfortunately, they are not apt to reflect back. So if you feel that sort of depersonalized feeling and have trouble getting grounded, really get yourself into a support group. I would always encourage the viewers here to surround themselves with people who can value you for who you are and allow you to be who you are. There are people out there who are not narcissistic, who you can have fun with, go out with, enjoy life with, and live it up, but who aren't going to need to insinuate and criticize and hurt. So furthermore, open your heart and open your eyes to all those opportunities and begin to really encapsulate the bravery and courage that it takes. Take one step at a time. Make one schedule at a time. Get yourself your recovery notebook, your appointment book. Go ahead and start filling those up with all that we discuss here, so you can gradually, with a process, begin to know yourself and really cherish your freedom and the opportunity of so many choices that you have to explore and enjoy in your life now moving forward, because that's what it's all about. It's peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.